Hello everyone, welcome to Clarity for Short. Today, in this video, we are going to discuss some of the important schemes for your upcoming NABARD Grade A 2025 examination from Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare. And this will be the part one of the video. Okay, so the first scheme for today would be your Pradhan Mantri Kisan Samman Nidhi, that is nothing but your PM-KISAN. See, for all the schemes, we will be discussing the launch year, the scheme type, what is the objective and what is the outcome of that particular scheme. Okay, so this is a central sector scheme, and the date of implementation was 1st December 2018. And what is the objective? To provide income support to small and marginal farmers, landholding farmers, to meet their input needs, improve crop health and adequate yields. And what is the benefit? It is 6,000 per year for eligible farmer family, and that 6,000 will be paid in three equal installments of 2,000 every 4 months. And they have given the definition of family also and eligibility criteria. You have to note a certain point that for this PM Kisan to be applied to the northeastern state, there is a special mechanism for northeastern states with community landholding, because we know community landholding is one of the features of the northeastern states. Through the Northeastern Region Ministry, the Development Authority of Northeastern Ministry, and the state government approval. Okay, and there are certain exclusions for this particular scheme also, so please go through that. Okay, and how the beneficiaries are identified for this particular scheme? It is through the Aadhaar or bank numbers. Okay, and self-declaration is also there. Aadhaar based verification will be done who are going to do the self declaration, and land records. And there is a grievance mechanism, redressal mechanism also through the state and the district grievance committees, and compliance has to be disposed within 2 weeks. This is very, very important. And there is a monitoring framework. Please make a note of it. And there is a portal also. And fund transfer, we all know it is through the direct benefit transfer. So there can be a question related to this also. Okay, so and there is a verification protocol, that is minimum 5% of beneficiaries. States should verify at least the 5% of beneficiaries minimum every year. Okay, this is about the PM Kisan. Second is your Pradhan Mantri Kisan Maandhan Yojana. So this was launched in the year 2019 on August 9th, and this is also a central sector scheme. What is central sector scheme? It is nothing but 100% funded by the Government of India, and it is administered by the Department of Agriculture. We all know. Okay, and the fund manager of this particular Maandhan Yojana is your Life Insurance Corporation of India. And what is the purpose of this particular scheme? It is a social security scheme. That means it provides old age social security to small and marginal farmers. Let me know in the comment section what is the criteria for small and marginal farmers, because this is one of the important questions that is actually we need to know from the NABARD perspective. Okay, and there is an eligibility age for this particular scheme, that is your minimum of 18 years and maximum of 40 years. And we all know the land condition, it should be for small and marginal farmers, it should be less than up to 2 hectares. Okay, and verification again through state and the union territories land records. Okay, nationality, all Indian citizens are eligible for this. Okay, documents required, please take a note of it. And here also there are some in exclusion criteria. Okay, and what is the nature of scheme? It is voluntary, contributory and defined pension scheme. This is very, very important, because this can be a question in the examination related to the nature of the scheme. Okay, and what is the pension benefit amount? It is 3,000 per month, which is fixed direct pension after attaining 60 years of age. So when a farmer is going to attain 60 years of age only, he will be getting this pension. Okay, and there is a there is a provision for the family pension also. And what is the contribution sharing? It is the farmer will contribute monthly based on the age of entry, and central government will also matches the contribution of the amount that is being given by the deposited by the farmer. Okay, and this is some example. Okay, mode of contribution, it is auto debit mechanism. And payment cycle, first, 11th and 21st. This is also important. Okay, and there is a 30 rupees charge for the enrollment of this particular thing, and which will be reimbursed by the government also. And it is integrated with PM Kisan. This is also important. Okay. And nomination facility is mandatory for this particular enrollment. So there can be a question related to the nomination facility also. So please make a note of this. Okay. And these are all some of the other aspects. We have this exit and withdrawal aspect also. Voluntary exit, becoming ineligible, and government co-contribution is not returned, which means it is kept in the pension fund. So there are three ways in which they exit and withdrawal before age of 30, sorry, before age of 60 is possible. Okay. Death, see if if the farmer has died before attaining the age of 60, there are also certain criteria, or there is a provision for continuation of this scheme by his or her spouse. Okay. Death after 60 years, spouse will receive the 50 percentage of pension. Okay. And there is also a disability provision also with this. So spouse, if spouse is going to continue the scheme, or he can exit, or he or she can exit or withdraw the deposit amount. And fund manager, we all know it is by the LIC. Okay. Grievance redressal, it also have the grievance redressal. And regulatory framework, we all know it is by the guidelines of this particular scheme. Okay. Next is your rural prosperity and resilience program. So it was announced in the budget 2025 as the part of the rural development. So it is more about the rural development, and along with the agricultural transformations and the climate resilient. And what is the type of the program? This is initiated by the government, NGOs, and also the development partners, focusing on several aspects like economic, social, and climate resilience. What is the core objective? This is very, very important: to strengthen the rural economy, promote sustainable livelihoods, improve the climate adaptation facility, and enhance the quality of life for the rural households. Okay. Primary goal to boost the income and the rural entrepreneurship. Okay. And these are all the key pillars of this particular scheme: economic development and social entrepreneurship, agriculture and food security, infrastructure development, climate resilient and environmental sustainability, social inclusion, and capacity building. So these are all the key pillars of this particular scheme. And how it will work? It will work based on the participatory planning model with the panchayats, with the FPOs, with the self-help groups. Okay. And yes, what all we have discussed in the key pillars, that will be applied. Like financial support will be given, like through the microfinance institutions. Okay. And there will be a capacity building program also, because since it is a rural entrepreneurship development program, there will be a capacity building and skill training also. And there will be a monitoring and evaluation aspect of this particular scheme. Why? Because to have a data driven tracking, and to see the impact, how this is going to work, how a capacity building would work. Okay. And they have identified some challenges also. Okay. What are the expected outcomes? Higher rural incomes and livelihood security, climate adaptive farming and reduced disaster loss, improved natural resource conservation and sustainability, increased access to digital services, market and finance, enhance the role of women and youth in rural economy. Okay. And it is aligned with some of the goals: SDG 1, SDG 2, SDG 5, gender equality, SDG 9, we know infrastructure, SDG 13, climate, and SDG 15, life on land. So there can be a question: which of the following is aligned to this particular scheme? I mean, which of the following SDG is aligned to this particular scheme? So this can be an option. So make a note of this. Okay. Next, we will go to the crop production and development aspect. Here, first scheme would be Pradhan Mantri Rashtriya Krishi Vikas Yojana. Okay, this was launched in the year 2007, 2008, and it has been reorganized, or it has been renamed as Pradhan Mantri Rashtriya Krishi Vikas Yojana. It is, we know, it is implemented by the Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare. Nature of scheme: see, it is a centrally sponsored scheme. What it means: the state will have a certain amount to be contributed, and the center will have the certain amount to be contributed. And funding pattern: earlier it was 100% of central assistance, but now, since it is a centrally sponsored scheme, we know it is 60 is to 40 for the states, and it will be 90 is to 10 for the northeastern regions and the Himalayan states. UT, we know it is 100% central grant for the union territories. Okay, what is the vision? To enhance efficiency, avoid duplication, and ensure convergence of agricultural program. It is nothing but the convergence of many agricultural programs. What is the key objective? You have to see to this. Increase production and productivity, make farming a remunerative and economically viable sector. It provides flexibility to undertake need-based projects to the state governments, promote agri startups and employment generation. And there are some sub-schemes or components of this particular Pradhan Mantri Rashtriya Krishi Vikas Yojana. What are those? Per crop, more crop. We all know that micro irrigation, submission on agricultural mechanization, detailed project report, and soil health and fertility, including the soil health cards, and Paramparagat Krishi Vikas Yojana, which is your organic farming and clusters model, and rainfed area development, agroforestry, and crop diversification program, and accelerated fund for agri startups. So there are 9 components or sub scheme under this particular Pradhan Mantri Rashtriya Krishi Vikas Yojana. Okay, and see here I have given you the details of each and every subcomponents we have discussed. So please go through that, go through this, and what will be the nodal agency? Nodal agencies will be your state agricultural departments, and funding release condition under 100% utilization certificates for previous year, previous year progress, and you will have this physical and financial progress reports, and along with the updated data of the geotagging of the assets that has been created using this particular scheme. Okay, so these are all the important points which you have to note down from the particular scheme. Now, this is a very, very important scheme, Pradhan Mantri Dhan-Dhaanya Krishi Yojana. This is very, very important because this has been announced in the budget, in the 2025-2026 budget. What is the it is a flagship agriculture and rural prosperity initiative. Duration is 6 years. That is very, very important. And uh, what is the objective of this particular scheme? That we need to know. Why? Because see, why the scheme was in use or why the scheme was initiated. That is very, very important because we know there is a large rural population of India that is dependent on agriculture, but India is facing more issues related to the agriculture, be it productivity, be it post-harvest losses or market inefficiencies. And there are other challenges also because we know that India is a monsoon dependent country. So your agriculture is completely monsoon dependent. Though we are having certain kind of mechanization, that is not as impact as it was or it is in the Western countries. And we all know that we have post-harvest losses. So this scheme is similar to your aspirational district program of your Niti Aayog, and it supports one district, one product. What does it mean? It will take a cluster of villages, and this Pradhan Mantri Dhan-Dhaanya Krishi Yojana will be implemented in those regions like the Niti Aayog does for your aspirational districts. Okay. So what are the objectives? Economic objective is there, production and sustainability objective is there, and post-harvest and value chain objective is also there. Covers, we know that phase 1 will cover 100 high potential agricultural districts through a data-driven parameters rollout in all major states and union territories. This is very, very important, and this will include your rain-fed regions, tribal areas, horticulture belts, and urban zones also. Okay, here is the selection criteria and beneficiaries: small and marginal farmers, tenant farmers, women farmers, and the self-help group members. This is very, very important. Beneficiaries becomes very, very important. And you have the eligibility conditions also. And what are the core interventions that will be given by this Pradhan Mantri Dhan Dhanya Krishi Yojana? Irrigation and water security, seed and soil productivity, post-harvest storage infrastructure, market linkages, credits, insurance, financial inclusion, and agri enterprises. And institutional mechanism, it like the aspirational district program, there is a flow from national to state, state to district, district to the block architecture. Okay, that is very, very important. Okay, so apex streaming committee at the state level, and you have the district streaming committee, and you have the block or cluster level, which will in the cluster level it will be the FPOs or the agricultural extension departments that will be working on. Okay, ministries involved, there are total of 11 ministries. This is very, very important. This is not only by the Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare. There are other ministries involved in this particular. So these are all the 11 ministries which you will have to note it down. Okay. And committees and governance, yes, there are certain committees. And monitoring and evaluation, we all know it is by a digital driven monitoring based 117. Okay, it means there are more than 117 plus monitoring tools to for this to cover various aspects like irrigation, seed supply, and storage capacity, everything. Okay, and next is your mission for Aatmanirbharta in pulses. This is very, very important. Launched on 11th October 2025. What is the aim? To boost the domestic production, reduce import dependence, secure farmers' income, and strengthen the nutritional security. Okay, what is the timeline? It is also for the implementation period will be 6 years, like your Pradhan Mantri Dhan-Dhaanya Krishi Yojana. So it will be also for 6 years, and nodal ministry will be the Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare, along with the other institutes of ICAR, NAFED, everything. Okay, total budget outlay is 11,440 crores, aligned with the Atmanirbhar Bharat Vision 2014, that is your Viksit Bharat. Okay, core objectives. These are all the objectives. Self-reliance in pulses by 2027. Expand pulse cultivation. Expand production and yield of the pulse cultivation. Assured 100% MSP procurement of tuar, urad, masoor for 4 years. Promote climate resilient, high yielding sea varieties. And see, these are all some of the backgrounds related to the food production in India. So you can just go through it. And this is about the nutritional importance related to the pulses. Okay. So eligibility, see again, I have given you some eligibility criteria who are in the pulse production related to the aspirational districts, rainfed areas, rice fallow regions. Okay, and key crops covered. When it is talking about the pulses, so key crops are tuar, urad, masoor, and also grams like mung, kulti, rajma, etc. Okay, seed revolution targets. There are some targets where the seed kits will be distributed to the farmers, and there is a seed traceability mechanism using the Sati portal. So there can be a question: which of the following portal is used for the seed traceability under this National Pulses Mission? Okay, this is the strategy and procurement mechanism will be through your PM-ASHA. This is a very, very important scheme. Okay, and post harvest and value chain interventions and cropping system expansion strategy. When we talk about the national mission, so these are all the important points. Okay, and institutional mechanism, it will be through the national steering committees, national level mission directorate, state state and district implementation units. Okay, I hope this is also clear. So this is the expected outcome, which we have already discussed. That is 3110 lakh hectare, and yield should be 1130 kg per hectare. And associated schemes, we just now saw PM Asha, National Food Security Mission, Soil Health Card, because since it is a mission, many of the schemes are converged. Okay, and this is about your Atmanirbhara in pulse production. Okay. Next comes your National Food Security and Nutrition Mission. See here, the important is the objective of this particular scheme. It is to increase the production of rice, wheat, and pulses and coarse cereals through area expansion and productivity enhancement, to restore the soil fertility, and to improve the farm level economy and build farmer confidence. Okay. Here, key strategy, we know the low productive, high potential district, like of the aspirational districts also. Agroclimatic zone planning, cluster approach, everything is there. And district selection criteria, these are some of the district selection criteria. So, whenever you're going to study a scheme, study about the objective, when was it launched, and what is the criteria for selection of a particular field, if I mean particular area. Okay. And monitoring mechanism is there, beneficiary allocation criteria. So this is about the percentage of how a beneficiary identification is done and allocated. Okay. And commercial crops based on intercropping, crop base, cropping system approaches. There are many approaches. This is very, very important. See, this point can be asked in your ARD static also. Okay, cropping system approach. SRI is used for which of the following crops? So there can be a question like that. Okay, so these are all very important. Okay, and next comes your Paramparagat Krishi Vikas Yojana. 10 years of this particular scheme. So this is highly important and relevant for the upcoming examination. So it is the parent mission of this Paramparagat Krishi Vikas Yojana is the National Mission for Sustainable Agriculture. And what is the core philosophy? Revival of traditional organic farming practices using the chemical-free, low-cost ecological agriculture. Okay, budget. So this will be the budget and financial progress. And what is the objective? What is the objective? Establishment of scalable organic farming clusters, reduce dependence on chemical fertilizers, improve farmers' income via premium pricing and niche consumers, enhance soil, organic carbon, biodiversity, and food security, strengthen agroecological resilience and climate adaptation. And there are some eligibilities. This is a cluster based model, and financial assistance is given that is 31,500 per hectare for 3 years, which will be divided into three, three installments. Okay, key components: on farm, off farm, participatory certification, that is your PGS India certification, and marketing and branding. So these are all the some of the aspects which you will have to cover, and we have also given the reckoner of this particular scheme in the Clarity for Sure Telegram channel also. So do revise. We have covered everything in detail related to this particular scheme. Okay. And next comes your National Mission on Edible Oil, Palm Oil. So this was implemented in the year 2021. It is a centrally sponsored scheme. Okay, and financial outlay and uh, and what is the context of this particular or launching this particular mission? We all know that India imports nearly more than 95 percentage of its palm oil needs. Okay, so to reduce that import bill, this particular national mission on edible oils, that is your oil palm, has been launched. Okay, and then the government has identified some of the cultivable potential areas of this particular oil palm. And what are the expected outcomes? To increase the palm oil farmers' income, reduce import dependence, boost agro processing investment, and generate rural employment. And these are all some of the core components: price assurance, input assistance, supports to seed gardens, and all. These are all some of the core components of this particular scheme. And there is a viability gap funding also for this particular uh, scheme, where a direct benefit transfer is also done if it is applicable, and it is valid till 1st of November 2037. Okay, so there are some special intensive for the now northeastern and the Andaman and Nicobar Islands also, and planting material assistance is also given. Replanting old gardens, replenishing the old gardens is also their major linkage to this majorly links to your Atmanirbhar Bharat, that is the vision of self reliance, and the edible oil self sufficiency, import reduction. Okay, and what is the expected impact? We already saw that to increase the palm oil production and to boost the rural income. Okay. Next, irrigation and water management, Pradhan Mantri Krishi Sinchai Yojana. So it is about the per drop more crop. And what is the aim? To provide irrigation to all farms, improve water use efficiency. So there can be a static question of what is water use efficiency. So let me know in the comment section, what do you mean by the water use efficiency? Okay. Objectives: converge the irrigation investments at field level, expand cultivable area under assured irrigation. So there are some important objectives of this particular scheme. So the broader idea is to provide protective irrigation to all farms, improving the water efficiency. Okay, and strategy and focus: end-to-end irrigation supply chain. Okay, through many systems, and there are certain traditional systems also. So this can also be a question. Okay, so please make a note of it. And there are certain components. We all know the components. Okay, So these are all some of the four important components of this particular scheme, and we have this district and state irrigational plans under many existing schemes like your Krishi Vikas Yojana, MG MP LAD. Okay, so this is also through a participatory approach through your Panchayati Raj institutions and your agri universities. Right. So these are all some of the norms, eligibility criteria. This is also, please go through this, and funding pattern as per the guidelines, centrally sponsored guidelines. Okay, and release of funds there in the installments, it will be released. Okay, and micro irrigation, yes, this is also an important aspect which was launched in the year 2018. Financing fund agency is NABARD, so this becomes important. Initial corpus of 5,000 crore was announced in the budget 2017-2018. What is the relation to the your per drop more crop scheme? So it is integrated to that particular scheme. Okay, and micro irrigation fund, because because in certain areas the state the your micro irrigation, that is your Pradhan Mantri Krishi Sinchai Yojana, is not utilized properly. So to bridge that gap, through NABARD, this micro irrigation fund has been launched. So this is the important aspect, and also to provide the top up subsidy for a well performing state. For example, if you are going to take some states related to the Western India or Southern India, they are performing well. So to encourage them, to make them more efficient, to make irrigation more efficient, this micro irrigation fund is also used. So it is used in both the cases, underutilization or to improve or to encourage them to use it more. Okay, and main objective to facilitate states in mobilizing resources to expand the micro irrigation coverage. Okay, through different ways. Scope of funding, who can access the fund? It is through the state governments. Okay, and there are some low repayment periods also, and interest subvention. This is important because 3% lower interest rate is being given by NABARD. Okay, and this is very important. This have this interest subvention component also. Right. And here, this is about the priority beneficiaries. Again, it is small and marginal farmers, and monitoring mechanism, direct benefit transfer, or the portal of your Pradhan Mantri Krishi Sinchai Yojana, and this Bhuvan geotagging platform of ISRO. Okay, expected outcome, micro irrigation coverage, and improve water use efficiency, reduce the input cost. Right. Next comes your soil health card. This is very important, which was launched in the year of 19th February 2015 in Rajasthan. So this is also completing 10 years. Okay. And what is the purpose? It contains soil test, and it recommends the optimum use of the fertilizer into the lands. Okay. It aims to reduce the indiscriminate use of fertilizers so that the soil fertility can be improved, which in turn will lead to the crop productivity and promote sustainable agriculture. And there is a portal, and there are 12 parameters, micro and macronutrients, sampling frequency, 2 cycles per year. This is very important. Okay, so this can be a question post Rabi and post Kharif when land is free from standing crop. Okay, let me know in the comment section what a standing crop means. Okay, and there are some other programs also, and it is linked to some institutions of your Rashtriya Krishi Vikas Yojana, where we saw one of the subcomponent is your soil health and fertility, and impact and outcome, since it has been 10 years, balanced use of fertilizer, encourage neem coated urea adoption, and boost the integrated nutrient management and the organic matter management. Okay, next is your National Mission for Sustainable Agriculture. What is the objective? To enhance agricultural productivity and income in climate vulnerable region. This is important. Okay. Promote micro irrigation and water use efficiency. It strengthens the soil health and promotes the balanced fertilization of to that particular soil or land. It support your integrated farming system. It promote climate resilient seed varieties and technological dissemination. It was launched in the financial year 2014-2015 under the National Action Plan on Climate Change. Okay. And major components: rainfed area development, soil health management, climate change and sustainable agriculture. Rainfed area development, okay. And we saw soil health management as one of the objective, and climate resilient agricultural initiatives. Okay, till now, how many varieties of climate resilient agricultural seeds have been released? So that is also given. Okay, so please go through this national mission for sustainable agriculture also. Okay, this is about the seeds and planting material support, capacity building and seed banks. That is, the village level seed banks will be supported under the NICRA, and the demonstration will be conducted in the drought and the flood tolerant varieties. Okay, many drought and flood tolerant varieties have been developed from rice, wheat, soybean, etc. Okay, so institutional mechanism, ministries involved. There are the major ministry is your Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare, and many other institutes are integrated or involved in this particular National Mission on Sustainable Agriculture. Okay, and National Mission on Natural Farming. So this was approved by the cabinet in November 2024. It is a standalone centrally sponsored scheme under the Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare. So it is based on the chemical free agriculture. Okay, it is not talking about the uh, organic farming, but it is talking about the chemical free agriculture into the where it is rooted to the traditional and indigenous knowledge, promoting the local livestock based inputs. Okay, and diversified crop system and your agroecological principle. Okay, so it is because why this mission has been launched. Why? Because see, the input cost for the fertilizers or the insecticides have been keep on rising year on year, and which actually causes your soil also to degrade, which advertently affects the public health also. So for the need of the safe, nutritious and toxin free food and sustainable farming, this national mission on natural farming have been implemented. Okay, what is the vision? As we saw, chemical free natural farming across India provides safe and nutritious food for consumers. And these are the coverage, and these are all some of the important aspects. Not important aspect, but you will just have to go through how what would be the input resource center, and what would be the target coverage target for the first 2 years, and what is the uh, expected benefits: low cultivation cost, improved soil fertility, organic carbon and microbial activity, high water use efficiency, reduced health risks, nutrition security, and healthy mother earth for future generation. And it will have a certification and branding component also. This is very very important. Okay, and academic integration, this rural agricultural work experience, students can be involved for the agricultural extension service under this particular scheme also, right? So, credit and insurance, your Kisan credit card, we all know it was introduced in 1998, and further extensions have been done. And what is the purpose? To provide a single window, simplified, flexible, revolving credit for the following aspects: short term, post harvest expenses, produce marketing loan, your consumption needs, and the working capital for your farm assets. And eligible beneficiaries: tenant farmers, sharecroppers, self-help groups, joint liability groups. Okay, and there is a fixation of credit limit. This is very very important. There are two categories: short term and there are two categories other than marginal farmers and marginal farmers. Okay, sublimits, there are two aspects: short term cash credit, that is your KCC account along with the savings. Next is your term loan component for the investment in your farm asset for your working capital. Disbursement mechanism, it is a cash credit. Okay, electronic KCC, we all know that is a mandatory smart card or debit card will be issued to the farmers, okay, and will be issued to the farmers, okay. And interest rate, we all know, as per the RBI master directions, repayment, it is aligned to the harvesting or the marketing period of that particular crop. Okay, and margin requirements it will be determined by the RBI. Okay, collateral, there is up to 2 lakhs, there is no collateral. This is very, very important. Okay, and with tie-up, I mean, to have the product linkage, the marketing linkage up to 5 lakh is allowed without collateral, but above these limits, bank may require collateral. Okay, insurance and integration, mandatory crop insurance, Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana, one-time documentation is there. NPA norms approve. NPA now norms are included. Is there for this KCC also. Okay. Next is your Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana. We know it is a uh, crop insurance scheme. Launched in 2016. Core principle: one nation, one crop, one premium. So this is the premium structure for your Kharif, Rabi, and annual commercial or horticultural crops. Coverage type: entire crop cycle, pre-sowing, standing crop, and post-harvest, up to 14 days for cut and spread condition. And risk covered: what are the risks? Yield loss, prevented sowing and planting loss, post-harvest loss, and localized calamities. Eligibility: this is also important. All farmers who have seasonal agri operation. This is keyword. Seasonal agri who avail seasonal operation. Okay, and beneficiary provide tenant farmers. So this is as of who have availed this particular Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana. Okay, this is the achievement. Okay, and technology integration through the S-Tech wins. So this can be a question. And grievance redressal mechanism is also there. Institutional mechanism. Okay, claim settlement, and this is some of the example case. Okay, next is your modified interest subvention scheme, which was latest continuation as of May 2025, approved for financial year 2025-2026. It is a central sector scheme. That means it is fully funded by the government of India. What is the objective? To ensure farmers that they receive their short-term crop loans at the affordable interest rate through your Kisan credit card. This is a key term. Okay. Target beneficiaries: all Kisan card credit holders engaged in crop cultivation, animal husbandry, and fisheries. And institutional coverage: scheduled commercial banks, RRB, small finance banks, cooperative banks, and PAX linked. Interest rate benefits: this is important, 7 rates per annum, and on prompt repayment, it will be reduced up to 3. Okay, effective rate for prompt repayers, it will be 4. So 3 will be from 7, 3% will be reduced. So it will be 4%. Okay, loan limits up to 3 lakhs for the short term, and loans for animal husbandry will be up to 2 lakhs. Purpose of loan and status of the scheme, there is no change. And this is total amount of KCC in India and how it is important for farmers. And these are all some of the other aspects. Okay, what is the expected outcome? Low cost agri credit, higher credit absorption for the livestock and fisheries, and reduction in non-performing farm debts. Okay, these are all some of the importance of this MIS. Okay, so this is all for this lecture. I hope the lecture was useful to you. Please go through the lecture, and I will meet you with part 2 of this particular lecture. Until then, study well. Have a great day.